Okay, we're on page 49. We're talking about rates, which, remember, a rate sounds just like ratio, which we've been doing for almost a week. So a unit rate, okay, sounds like ratio, is when the second quantity is 1 unit. All right, so a rate is a comparison by division. So remember, we only multiply and divide when we're solving proportions or dealing with ratios. So a rate is a comparison by division of two ratios that have different units or labels. So here's an example of a unit rate. So it's $2.50 for 1 gallon of milk. All right, that's a unit rate. You're telling me how much 1 gallon costs. Or here's another example of a rate. Sarah can run 1 mile in 8 minutes. So both of those are rates. So here's an example. If there are 42 cows, remember we box our information, in 2 barns, how many cows are there in 1 barn? So we have 42 cows, so they kind of put the label over here, in 2 barns, okay? Remember, those are connected. And they want to know how many in 1 barn. So what they did was they kind of set it up for us to do the easy way. So we want to know, how do we go from 2 to 1? Well, we divide by 2. Whatever we do on bottom, we do on top. So 42 divided by 2 is going to be 21. So the unit rate, remember unit means 1, of cows to barns is 21 cows to 1 barn. And again, it's a unit rate because you have that 1 in there. So here's another example. Rachel went to the store and bought 5 liters of Dr. Pepper for $26.50. So if we set up our proportion, we have 5 liters for $26.50. What is the unit price? So when you hear unit, you're going to say 1. So what is the price for 1 liter of Dr. Pepper? So we want to know, what is the price, that's my question mark, for 1 liter of Dr. Pepper? So we can do it the easy way. We can say, okay, how do I get from 5 to 1? That's going to be divided by 5. So I'm going to do the same thing down here. 26.50 divided by 5. So let's do it over here. Remember, when we have decimals, if there's no decimal here, this one raised to the roof, as Miss Sanders said in 5th grade. So 5 does not go into 2, it goes into 26 5 times. Do your subtraction, bring your 5 down. 5 goes into 15. Now look, I wrote my 5 down, so I need to put my 3 right above that 5. 3 times 5 is 15. Bring your 0 down. 5 goes into 0 0 times. So 1 liter of Dr. Pepper is going to cost $5.30. And yes, you could have just said on unit price $26.50 divided by 5, and you would get your unit price. Okay, here's another little example of a proportion. So we have Jennifer drives 2 hours to Grandma's house, and this is how far from home to Grandma's house. So these are connected. If she drives 8 hours at the same rate, so they're telling you how fast she's driving, how many miles will she drive? So we're going to set up our ratio and then set up our whole proportion. So here's our ratio. 2 hours and 120 miles needs to be together. So 2 hours and 120 miles. Notice they have miles across from miles and hours across from hours. So they have this X here just like a question mark. It just stands for a missing number. So if, remember, they love that if in proportions. If she drives 8 hours, I'm going to put 8 down here with hours. Now remember, I could cross multiply and divide by 2 and get my answer. But if there is an easy way, if I see an easy way, I'm going to take it because it's easier. How would I go from 2 to 8? Well, that's going to be times 4. So whatever I do here, because of this equal sign, I'm going to do here as well. So if I go from 2 to 8 with multiplying by 4, 120 times 4 will get my answer. which is going to be 480. So 480 miles will be my answer. So let's go to the back. We're on page 50. It says a bucket contained 70 gallons of water. Water leaked out of the bucket at a rate, so they're about to give you a ratio, of 5 gallons every 2 days. So those are connected. So at this rate, again, they're telling you to set up a proportion, or that you're going to be dealing with rates and ratios. At this rate, how many days did it take for all 70 gallons to leak out of the bucket? So I'm going to do gallons over days. And it doesn't really matter which one you start with. I'm going to start with this ratio right here. 5 gallons leaked every 2 days. So for all 70 gallons, I'm going to put 70 with gallons, how long did it take? So again, I don't see an easy way here, but I might not see an easy way here off the top of my head. I might not know what 5 times what is 70. So what will always work is cross multiplying. 2 times 70 is 140 divided by 5. So we're going to do our 140 divided by 5. 5 goes into 1, none. 14, 2 times. 5 goes into 40, 8 times. So now that right there was 28. So it's going to be 28 days. So number 2, in San Angelo, Texas, there are approximately 240 bats under 12 bridges. So again, those are a ratio in the south side of town. If, there's that if again, there were equal amount of bats under each bridge, how many bats under each bridge? So remember, each, per, every, unit, all of those words mean 1. So if we set up our proportion, we have 240 bats under 12 bridges. So we have bats over bridges. So since they didn't give me another number, I'm thinking that they give me a word that gave me the number 1. So since they said each bridge, I know that they want to know how many bats under 1 bridge. So this is what I'm trying to find right here. So I can look for an easy way here, or I can look for an easy way here. I'm going to go toward what I'm missing. So how would I get from 12 to 1 using only multiplication and division? Well, I would divide by 12. So 12 divided by 12 is 1. So 240 divided by 12 would be 20. So 20 bats under 1 bridge. So number 3, 15 pounds of bananas, there's my number, cost $30.45. So those right there are going to be connected. All right, 15 pounds for $30.45. We have pounds over money. So what is the unit price per pound of bananas? So look, per pound, 1 pound, 1 pound. That's where I put my 1. So this is what I'm looking for. I want to know what the unit price is for 1 pound. So I could cross multiply and divide, right? So cross multiply, that's easy because it's just times 1. Divide by 15. So let's go ahead and do that. So no decimal here, so this goes straight up. 15 goes into 3, none. 30 exactly 2 times. Bring my 4 down. 15 goes into 4, 0 times. Bring my 5 down. 15 goes into 45 exactly 3 times. So my answer for 1 pound of bananas, it's going to be $2.03.